Welcome to the Wrestle Factor Podcast. Sorry. Today, we're talking about more wrestling. Talk about the Money in the Bank participants, what happened on Raw and SmackDown. Just give our thoughts on the show. Before we start that, though, there is a change to the rules I need to make.
What are the rules?
Just a small one.
Just a smidgen.
The handicap match rules. Just real quick, I want to go over the new points for that. So how we had it was a little muffed, I guess, because it wasn't fairly giving points to people that were at a disadvantage. How we had it was like people that were at the disadvantage were getting punished more for losing, or people that were at an advantage were getting more points for winning. So we kind of switched that up. So here are the new points. If you are the single man in a handicap match or part of the smaller team, you get your standard match finish points plus another set of match finish points for each additional member on the bigger team. Mm-hmm. So, in the example, shut up. If you are the one member in a 1-on-3 and you win via pinfall, you get 5 pinfall points as if it were a standard singles match, and then an additional 5 for that second member, and an additional 5 for the third member. So you would gain 15 pinfall points if you were the one person in a 1-on-3 and win. If you are in a 2-on-3 and you win, you would only get 10 points for pinfall, because it would be that standard 2-on-2 plus an additional match finish points for that extra member. If you are the single man or a small team and you lose, standard match loss points because you're at the disadvantage. If you are on the multi-man team or the bigger team and you win, standard match finish points. You don't get anything extra for that. Now, if you're on the multi-man or the bigger team and you lose, you get the standard match loss points. But for each additional member of the bigger team, you lose an extra point. So if you are part of a 3-man team and lose a 3-on-1, you get your standard -2. You get an extra point for the second member and an extra point for the third member, meaning you would in total get -4 for losing the match. If you lose a 3-on-2, that's only -3 because you only have one additional member. Mm-hmm. So those are the new handicap match rules going forward. Hopefully that clears some stuff up now.
Simple enough, ain't it?
Simple enough, yeah.
Simple enough.
Okay, on to the show. Before we start our review of Raw and SmackDown, what do you think of the Money in the Bank participants now? Now they've all been officially revealed. I don't have the list, so I can't name them off one by one. But
let's see. We got Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet,
and Baron Corbin on the Raw side.
On the SmackDown end of things, you've got Ali, Andrade, Randy Orton,
and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's okay. It could be worse. Let's say that.
I'm kind of disappointed, just mostly in the Baron Corbin aspect of things.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but they just they want him on TV all the time. It's like what they do with Alexa Bliss, but a lot less interesting.
Baron Corbin gets a reaction, which I understand. Like, that's why they put him on TV, but I don't think they understand that he's not getting the intended reaction.
Right. He's getting... There's a difference between...
He's a bad guy, and he's getting booed, but he's not getting booed because he's a bad guy.
He's not getting booed because he's good at being a bad guy. He's getting booed because people don't like him and they want him to go away.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
He's a bit of an alien.
Like, I boo Kevin Owens because he is good at being a bad guy, and I want to see him get beaten. When Baron Corbin is on my screen, I want him to go away.
Exactly.
By any means necessary, just leave my TV, please.
I honestly think he just needs a character change. Like,
he really does.
The constable thing, like, it made sense. It sort of made sense, I would say.
Well, him wanting to run the show made sense.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the point of all the different names and stuff.
Now he's just a guy in a suit. It makes no sense.
Because he's not trying to fight for that position anymore. So it doesn't make any sense to have him in the vest and the dress pants. Like, just put him back in his old ring gear.
Yeah. Or just something new. I don't care.
Whatever. Anyway, I am excited for Ricochet to be in it because
yes,
we were both at NXT TakeOver New Orleans and we saw
which is said to be the best TakeOver show of all time.
it holds a special place in my heart.
Definitely.
I think it definitely is the best.
Yeah. It's up there. It's definitely it was top 3, if not.
It was a Dave Meltzer 5-star match.
Well, who cares about Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, whatever. But
he's an old man giving ratings. Who cares?
Anyway, Ricochet in that match was phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what he does in the Money in the Bank match. Maybe he wins. Who knows? He didn't. He kind of got cheated out of that win when Adam Cole when Adam Cole won the North American. Bye. Won the North American title, so maybe Ricochet gets his chance now. Also, Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin have already been Money in the Bank winners. I don't really like the idea of repeat winners, especially since they were both the last 2 winners.
From what I've heard, the speculation is that whoever's winning Money in the Bank this year is going to be, it's going to be well booked, basically.
Wow.
After going from Baron Corbin having a very dismal cash in to Braun
he failed.
Yeah. He couldn't even beat Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal.
And
then going to Braun Strowman last year, who didn't even use the 24/7, aspect of it. Just told him like, "Hey, I'm challenging Brock Lesnar," and then he lost.
I'm challenging Brock Lesnar, and he's gonna get these hands. That's every Braun Strowman promo in a nutshell.
I mean, do you really want any more from that? You just want a big imposing figure that can throw somebody around. But yeah, from what I've heard, hopefully too, that will be the plan. That whoever wins Money in the Bank will actually look like a future world champion, as that's the whole freaking point of it.
As far as the Raw side goes, I would have changed up a little bit, and instead of Braun Strowman, I would have put Bobby Roode in there. Robert Roode. And I would have done this sort of thing where Braun Strowman maybe gets like cheated out of his Money in the Bank spot, and it's taken by Baron Corbin instead, because they've been butting heads for months anyway. But yeah, I really don't want to see Braun Strowman in it, to be honest. He can just do his own thing. Braun Strowman's the kind of guy where if they want him to be main event level, they'll just put him there anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, I think these would have worked a lot better being 6-person matches, and they could have used all these weeks doing qualifiers.
Yeah.
You could have done triple threats, Not even 2-on-2, to where we would have saw like Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews, and we would have known the entire time. That 'cause Apollo's instead of immediately just being disappointed and like, okay, now it's not going to change. Like at least you could have gotten some matches, actually get a build out of this, make it feel like people have earned this.
But yeah,
here's the people.
All 16 people that are in their respective matches for Money in the Bank were announced. They just told us who it was.
Yeah,
it's whatever. There were more important things that I disagreed with on this show. It's not really that big of a deal, but
quick prediction, not official, but who do you think is going to win?
Right now, with still what?
Who's your favorite?
When is Money in the Bank? Is it 3 weeks away?
May 27th, I believe.
27th?
It's the 27th to the 19th, I want to say.
I'm going to Google this real quick. Sorry. May 19th. So 2 weeks from this Sunday. I would say 2 weeks out.
They easily could have just made this week and next week just all qualifier matches.
They could have.
And then do the go home gratuitous everyone's on ladders for some reason promo.
I like that one. when it was like Owens and Jericho and all them, like
that's just because the characters were great.
Yeah, I liked that segment, but
I miss Liz Jericho.
If I had to pick someone 2 weeks out when they just got announced,
I don't know about the women so far, but early prediction, Andrade. I think I think Vega carrying around that briefcase for him, it's gonna be a good look.
Especially because the rumor was that Andrade and Zelina had to be moved back to SmackDown because Fox wants more of a Latino representation on SmackDown when it moves to Fox.
Plus, he's a heel, especially going up against Kofi. If he were to cash it in,
that's also assuming that Kevin's not going to take the title off of him, or if he is, someone else will take it off of Kevin by then.
Yeah.
But
Money in the Bank is a bit of a heel move, you know.
Yeah, it is,
usually
kinda.
cashing in on somebody whenever they're down, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like Andrade would be a good fit for it.
I could see Andrade winning it. I don't really see Corbin or Strowman winning it.
I hope not.
Because anytime they put it on someone twice, they kind of space it out quite a bit. Has anyone besides Cena won it more than once?
Actually winning the match, only Punk has won it twice.
I thought Cena had the briefcase twice.
No.
No?
He won in 2012.
Oh,
Actually was like the second person to announce that he was going to cash it in.
Oh.
Against CM Punk. Funny enough.
Gotcha.
If you want to know who's won Money in the Bank and who they cashed in on, I can sadly tell you that.
I think it will be either Andrade or McIntyre.
See, I don't think McIntyre needs it. I feel like they've been building him well enough that he could go into the title picture by himself.
I mean, it's WWE. If you want anyone in the title picture, you can just put him there. Look what they did with Jinder Mahal.
That was an experiment. To be fair, he hasn't been back there since.
Yeah, but
which you know,
it's honestly, it's with their like a little bit unpredictable nature with booking. It's a little hard to tell at this point, 2 weeks away, who I think is going to win. Which we do want to do a predictions video the weekend before.
Which I think,
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think we are going to do. But
We are going
just
to.
early predictions, just immediately off of who's been announced. I'm looking towards Andrade.
Yeah, I see either him or McIntyre. I think.
I think we'll go more into depth on why in the predictions.
Yeah, as much as I want Ricochet to win. I don't think he's going to.
Too much.
They
too
haven't
quick.
built him into anything. He's been in matches. He does his high flying stuff, but that's all they've done with him so far.
I want to see Ricochet as like United States champion or Intercontinental champion first.
I want to see Buddy Murphy as Intercontinental champion.
That would be
Ricochet as U.S. champion because the brands they're on.
Could you imagine that match at Survivor Series?
So as far as the women's Money in the Bank match goes, early prediction. Who do you got?
After watching this week, first prediction, I think Naomi.
Naomi.
They since bringing her back to Raw, they've really been putting a lot into her, basically, especially standing tall after this week. I don't know.
Right. Also, on our points, she's one of the top in the standings that doesn't hold a title right now.
Yeah.
I think she's like in the 20s or something. So not many people are up there that aren't title holders.
It's not bad.
So we didn't list this off. The women's Money in the Bank participants: Alexa Bliss, Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Bayley, I think.
Yes. Carmella,
Ember Moon, and Mandy Rose. Mandy. Alexa won it last year, right?
Yes.
Which I like Alexa, but again, I have to go with the 2 years in a row thing. You don't need that.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fact that she won and she was successful, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I prefer drawing it out.
Right. And as Carmella said on SmackDown, she technically speaking won the first two because they did the first one. People didn't like the ending, and so they recreated it on SmackDown. So I don't think Alexa or Carmella is winning. I honestly, I'm not into Naomi at all. It's I don't care for the glow thing.
It's run its course.
It has.
Honestly, she started that 2 or 3 years ago.
I think it was pretty soon after the brand split. She started this new character.
Exactly.
But
it just needs a little something to it.
I think it's gonna be either Ember Moon or Bayley. Because now that Bayley's been inserted more heavily into the SmackDown title picture than anyone else has, I think she's got more momentum and more motivation to win the briefcase and just kind of, I don't know, take hold of the title picture. So that's just what I think. We still got 2 weeks of build left until this.
We've got 2 weeks of filler.
And they've swerved us before on this kind of stuff. So
always in a good way.
All right. So we're just going to talk about some of the main points of Raw and SmackDown. I'm just kind of going through my list of pros and cons here. I was really glad that Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley, although they were both on the show, they didn't have anything to do with each other.
Yes.
And I'm glad that Corbin was still involved with Drew McIntyre, but
I think this week was actually the first time in a while that I wouldn't say I loved Bobby Lashley's segment, but I kind of like where they were going with it. I don't know why, like the talking in the third person.
I did like that.
I feel like that worked.
That worked. I don't know. Yeah, like I can't stand Lashley's promos. I think they're horrendous most of the time because he fumbles over his words. He can't like articulate a thought very well. That's not to make him sound like he's a caveman or something.
Yeah, but not everybody is a talker.
He's not. Whenever he's trying to tell you he's going to beat you up, it's not intimidating.
Exactly.
But
I think having him speak in third person, it gives him a second to think about what he's going to say.
Right.
Bobby Lashley thinks this.
Also, it just like it puts it out there like he thinks very highly of himself and not of you.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of good quality to have in a heel. So
either that, or they just took what Leo Rush was going to say and just say just speak in third person.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked his segment with The Miz. I feel like it was a good thing for Lashley for once. Another promo that I really liked was Sami Zayn. I loved his bit. I think that his holding the WWE Universe accountable and stuff is getting better and better. I particularly liked when he told the story of the boy at the airport. And he's like, this boy at 5 years old already thinks that I owe him something. And I was like, dang, dude.
I mean, yeah.
Because you can understand the boy's reaction to being told no to something.
Yeah.
But also, he's not wrong.
Yeah. He doesn't have to give the autograph.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And that's another thing I just want to, put out there. Celebrities don't have to take a picture with you. They don't have to sign an autograph. That's not part of their responsibility.
Exactly.
So if you see them, have a little respect. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. You can always go and ask.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask, but at the same time, don't be afraid of the
answer. I will say
answer.
a lot of them are probably okay with, taking a picture or just being asked for something, but sometimes they don't. And if they say no, leave it at that.
Because you never know. In a certain situation, you do that, and then a crowd of people comes up out of nowhere.
I saw a picture.
Because they didn't realize that,
yeah,
so-and-so was there.
I saw a picture this past week that I actually don't know if it's brand new or not. It looked somewhat new. Apparently, a fan had run into Randy Orton in a restroom somewhere. I think it was at a wrestling event, maybe. Because the guy who took the picture and his friend were both wearing wrestling shirts, and Randy was there, obviously.
Yeah.
Apparently, Randy had told them no to a picture, and then he snuck a picture anyway, through the mirror. And Randy was totally caught off guard, and the fan had a goofy smile on his face. Don't do that. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that bit's over. Sorry.
Back in conclusion, Sami Zayn has a good promo.
Don't be a dick.
Unless you're Randy Orton.
The Gallows and Anderson match. Good match. Do you agree?
I wish they could do more with them. They could easily... They've been around for the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. They debuted, the week after WrestleMania.
They helped beat up John Cena.
Exactly. Bring back the club.
Well, I just, they call themselves Bulletproof.
Yeah. If you're...
I think it was just an adjective, not a team name.
It was dumb.
I liked it.
No, the Bulletproof thing.
Why?
Because they keep
They keep referencing.
They keep referencing it.
Yeah.
But they don't do anything with it.
They can.
We're bulletproof.
They don't.
Why'd you lose?
Yeah, they don't own the name. But no, I actually thought it was a good match. I think they put on quite a bit of offense and actually had a good showing in the ring.
Oh yeah, in terms of the match, yeah. But I wish they could definitely do more with them.
Yeah. But they lost, which we expected. They were going up against the Usos, which they've pushed them since they started this day one stuff, especially since the move over to Raw. I didn't.
Looking at it, I think that there could have been another tag team they could have fed to the Usos.
Probably.
Also, Gallows and Anderson...
Especially since the SmackDown tag division has been completely gutted since this shakeup.
Yeah. Gallows and Anderson could still be on SmackDown and it could be the
tag champs?
Yeah, they could be the champs right now.
Yeah.
Or at least going into a match for the titles now. But no.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute. What did you think of their little sneaky video promo where they caught the Revival in the showers?
remember, I think it was last year, whenever they had a whole promo around the Authors of Pain where Drake Maverick pissed himself?
Mm-hmm.
It's that level. It's pretty ridiculous.
I think the peeing himself
the
thing
fact
was worse.
the fact that the Revival had to come out and act like they were so flustered and was like, oh, we were just helping each other out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, dude, it's 2019. Obviously, like, I don't know. You just have to look at it as it gets to a point where it's ridiculous.
The thing is like, they came out and Dawson
they're shaving each other's backs.
Anyway, Dawson was like, we're like best friends or whatever. Like, I trust him to do, like, to help me out with something like that, whatever. And commentary was actually like on their side.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, this is dumb that we've been talking about this.
Yes.
The second, like, why is this an issue? Why are you making fun of him for that?
Yeah.
Your wrestlers, everyone, just about everyone, shaves their body hair for this.
Exactly.
Like,
besides like Cesaro.
A few don't. Lars is still kind of hairy, but
yeah,
a lot of them do that.
What, are you gonna shave the freak's back?
No, I'm not gonna go near him. But I don't know. It probably would have worked better in the Attitude Era or something. But trying to make it like, oh, they might be gay or something. Like,
yeah, I
didn't care for it. It was also wasn't very like Usos.
No.
This wasn't the kind of stuff they did on SmackDown.
They come out doing the R-Truth bit, trying to get everybody to sing along to their song, and then they come...
hang on.
Yeah.
When they were out there, they were like doing the first few bars of their theme, and then the music stopped.
Yeah.
And then they were just jumping around, and then the music started back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
It was kind of weird. They came out with that, then did the thing with the Revival. Like, I don't know. I feel like these are two teams that could easily have like a fantastic match on any pay-per-view, probably any show, really. And this is the story you're putting together.
Yeah.
They're laughing at the Revival because they shave each other's backs.
I think...
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but I kind of think management is kind of giving the middle finger to the Revival. Ever since they asked for their release, like, we've noticed all of this, like, hokey stuff that they make them do, and they didn't grant them their release. They gave them the tag titles, took them off, and now they're making them do all this crap again. Like, what do you do? If you want to keep them around, like, show us that you need them.
I mean, after hearing all this stuff that's apparently going on with Luke Harper and him requesting his release, and they're not accepting it, and then they're supposedly adding his injured time onto his contract,
which I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so he's having to stay even longer because he's not being used. I guess at least in the Revival's point of view, like, if they are just trying to run out their contracts at this point, at least they're being used, so they can't have that held against them. Yeah. But still, I think it's definitely a waste of talent. Yeah. Especially for a 3-hour show. They can do a whole lot better.
I was just thinking earlier today that I used to totally be for Raw being 3 hours, but now recently I've just thought they really needed to just go back to a 2-hour show, because they talk about people, like, at least the people like to review the show and stuff, people get burnt out on that 3rd hour. And when you add 2 hours of SmackDown to that, and then people that watch NXT or people watch NXT UK or 205 Live, that is so much wrestling in 1 week. Shave off an hour off of Raw, dude.
Or, just replace that 1st hour with 205 Live. Put it there. Actually make it look like people are coming in for the show. Get them excited with all that high-flying stuff, and then you have an action-packed, 2-hour show.
Yeah.
People might actually, be excited about it once again.
Right.
You talk about this ratings crisis, and then you got people joking about shaving each other's backs.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Moving on. There was another Firefly Funhouse segment with Bray Wyatt. I enjoyed this one.
Sociopath.
That's the word of the day, sociopath. I liked it, but the his kind of like underlying like psychopathic behavior, like old Bray Wyatt, was like showing a bit more in this segment, and I think they should have toned it down just a tiny bit. I don't know if they're going for like showing a bit more of him each week. I don't know if you caught this, but at the end when he was saying his like tagline, like let me in, or I like the way, or whatever it is, he says, like, he did that old Bray Wyatt stance where he has his arm behind his back and he twirls his fingers in the other hand, and then he just like was like bye and waved. I didn't know if you caught that, but I did. I was like, I wonder where they're going with that.
Yeah.
Are they bringing like?
I don't know. It's been a month already.
Yeah.
We've had Bird Raptor and the puppet, and then now 2 Firefly Funhouse segments.
And a new character, Rambling Rabbit. Didn't need him.
No, honestly.
No.
Don't really need the other characters either.
And I also don't know why, like, it's totally fine for them to replay the segment on SmackDown. I don't know why only on SmackDown did they cut to the crowd watching it. And they're not, like, there's no crowd reaction to be heard.
No.
I don't understand that.
Well, there's not really a point because they pump in sound effects to make it like he's already in front of a crowd,
Yeah.
So it's like, why do you need to show another crowd?
I don't know. They don't do it on Raw, so why on SmackDown? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I also watched the edited Raw, so I don't see that.
Yeah. Sometimes watching it live is not the greatest, but...
I don't know. Maybe it'll start some sort of feud or something at Money in the Bank. Yeah. Only another 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think he will come in at Money in the Bank. I hope to God it's not another hologram thing. Anyway, my last pro for Raw this week was I put no Iconics match for them to lose
Yes.
because they weren't on Raw,
They weren't even on the show.
but that means that they didn't lose a match.
Yes.
Because I don't think they've won a single match since they became the champs.
Besides winning the match to become champions.
I don't count
Yes.
that. So, I don't know. They were on SmackDown guest commentators, which they were really good at that. I enjoyed them.
To be honest, at this point, you almost don't even want to be Money in the Bank because if you become a champion, it's worse for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that brings us a good point. If they've never done this before, but do you think now with the women's tag belts, the winner of the women's Money in the Bank match, or even the men's for that matter, could then find a partner and cash in for the tag titles? I don't know why they would want to do that, but maybe with the women's because they were kind of building it up and it's kind of like as important as the main women's titles now. There's nothing that says they can't.
Not necessarily. I don't know. I think the contract is set up for the world title.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, if you went through all that, would you really want anything besides the world championship?
That's true.
So, plus, I hope they also don't get to the point where they start having like a tag team briefcase in any capacity.
It's just like too much going on.
You have a male and a female winner.
You have your 32 champions, and then you have your 4 Money in the Bank winners, and then
it took us over a decade just to get a female
Yeah.
ladders match, which is pretty ridiculous. But it's here,
yeah.
so I'm excited. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite favorites.
Which I will give credit to WWE. Most of the time, when they have their women's versions of this stuff now that we've had for years, it doesn't feel like it's just a PR move. They're not doing it for the sake of having women in there. Some of the stuff is actually just as entertaining as the guys. Like,
dude, the Paige versus Emma match at the very first NXT TakeOver. Arrival.
I think it was Arrival.
Before all of that even really started, that was a great match. Like, I was surprised back then because, seeing divas for a decade and, women's matches are shorter than their entrances.
Yeah.
It's like actually seeing 2 females that can, put on a great match within the WWE system at least.
Right.
Like, it was cool to see.
Yep.
And now one of them isn't with the company and the other one's retired.
Right. Some of the lesser points for Raw. Shane and The Miz kind of rekindled their feud this week, which I guess is okay, but last week they had nothing to do with each other, and now this week they do. So now Shane has 2 separate feuds going on. I don't need that much Shane McMahon in my life.
I think he has like the actual physical feud with The Miz, which I almost feel like will end at Money in the Bank.
It needs to.
Usually the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, like, feuds are, like, actually ended.
If they carry on through Mania, it's usually the one after is where it ends.
Especially since they're doing a steel cage. So I think...
Yeah, it needs to be the end.
So I think...
That's where Bray Wyatt comes in.
Yes. I think with The Miz, his feud will end at Money in the Bank, but after that it'll carry on with the feud against Roman Reigns. So
just wait and see.
We'll see.
The Moment of Bliss segments... a lot of people don't like them. I enjoy the Moment of Bliss stuff just because I think
I just like seeing Alexa
Bliss is good at like bickering back at somebody. The men's one was fine. The women's one was terrible. Like, this is the first one I genuinely hated.
Natalya comes out and does the same generic promo she's done for however long.
Dana Brooke is, it's time for my opportunity. You get all the opportunities. Now it's my turn. And they were just bickering at each other, like worse than commentary did in 2015.
But then at the end, Alexis, gets order, and it's like, can we just be calm so I can announce the last person and the last person for the Raw Women's, Money in the Bank match? Me. Still
yeah.
The only good part about the segment.
Yeah. There's still like talk or whatever that Alexa is still like, they're not really keen on putting her in a lot of matches. If that's true, I don't know why the matches they are putting her in are like these dangerous ones. Like, why is she in a ladder match?
Because there's 8 people, so she can probably just get knocked to the outside and hang out for about 10 minutes, do a small spot, and just do the same.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. My last point: Joe lost via roll up again. They obviously don't care.
Yeah.
If you had to give this week's Raw a rating, 1 through 5, what would you give it? I personally gave it a 2.5 because it, like you said, it didn't feel like a waste of an episode, but it also did feel like filler. And I didn't feel like... I felt like some of the match setups were a little bit like artificial. That's even for wrestling. It was just like, I have a problem with you. Let's have a match.
Oh, the 4 competitors on, the Raw Money in the Bank tag team match.
Yeah.
They did the same thing on SmackDown.
Apart from Ricochet's like high flying spots, I didn't feel like any of the matches this week were interesting on Raw.
No, not really.
So I just gave it solid in the middle, 2.5.
I'd probably go with a 2.
2.
Honestly, most of the intrigue was figuring out who was going to be in the Money in the Bank matches.
Yeah.
And then upon finding that out was slightly disappointing.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the Usos could have been in a better segment. I don't know. There was a lot of things that could have just been done better this week.
Better.
It needs improvement.
Like I said, I like Sami Zayn's stuff. I think he needs to get involved in a feud now. It's been 3 weeks of, you all suck. And while that's great and funny, like, how many times can you redo that promo before it gets old?
Well, now according to Sami, he's only going to appear whenever he deems it necessary.
Which is going to be every week.
Yeah.
Alright, switching gears. Moving on to SmackDown. Another kind of just average show. It wasn't anything special this week.
But a whole hour shorter.
A whole hour shorter. So
at least it had that.
At least, yeah, that was
it wasn't a boring show that dragged on, at least.
Yeah.
It was over,
I had a few more cons for SmackDown than I had pros. I will say, Becky Lynch looked much better this week as an in-ring competitor.
Yes.
Her match with Bayley was actually very good. Actually, the crowd was actually hyped up for this.
This whole formula they've got with Becky where she comes out on one show and cuts a promo and then she comes out on the other show and has a match. I don't know. And I like the idea of her having 2 championships, but at the same time, it just takes so much away from everything.
Have her on one or the other each week. You don't have to have her on both.
Exactly. And once again, doing the Brawl storyline with Lacey this week, and then you still have 2 more weeks. It's like you're apparently already at the point where you're getting physical.
Yeah.
Just have the match already.
Yeah, I think she was better in ring, but on the other hand, like, while her promos are good, having to do one on Raw and SmackDown each week, it's starting to feel a little bit copy-paste. Like, she's essentially just rewording the promos. And what I noticed this week was a lot of the in-ring promos were, like, they were interviews, basically. Like, disguised as promos, I guess.
Because apparently, the superstars don't even know what they're supposed to be talking about, so they need somebody out there to set them up.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what the point was this week. There was quite a few of them, but I don't know.
Oh well.
I thought that the Roman Reigns and the Shane McMahon promo was actually pretty good as well. I feel like Shane, for some reason, has better promos on SmackDown than he does for Raw.
Greg Hamilton.
You got it. Although I liked that he was like, Greg, a very short, low-key introduction, please. And then it was just normal one, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It was actually nice.
He meant it.
Yeah.
It's only whenever he's actually wrestling he wants that super drawn out introduction.
That led to a handicap match with Roman Reigns versus the B team, and Elias was the special guest referee enforcer. Yes. I think is what it was called. Proved to be pretty useless for the most part.
Yeah. It's always great to see whenever one guy can outsmart three others.
Yeah. So. I liked that. Roman, I think, did a Superman punch. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Dallas or something. And then the referee slides over for the pin, and I could tell just by his positioning, he stuck his leg underneath the bottom rope. I knew he was getting pulled out of the ring. And what happened? Elias pulled him out. And then the referee acts like, I don't know, like someone just cut his legs off or something, or he just got knocked out.
Like, did he sell it? Like he was hurt?
He was pulled out and landed on the floor, and then he was rolling around through the whole trying to beat up Reigns thing. Elias trying to get the upper hand. And
did you hear about the referee on the live event this weekend?
Broke his ankle.
Broke his leg. Still counted
the pin. That guy's a champ.
Exactly.
But
that dude's the MVP of all professional wrestling referees.
Yeah, so you can't tell me that the referees are actually hurt. even in a kayfabe standpoint.
Broke his leg, still finished the match.
Pulled out of the ring, acts like he's dying. I put B team are ridiculous, the music sucks, the team sucks, why are they a team? B team, go, go, go.
Away.
Thank you. No, Bo Dallas is good. He was NXT champ.
I miss Bo Leave. I love it.
I feel like I would have a better appreciation for it now than I did when it first started. Because I didn't like it when it was a thing.
I came into that gimmick right at the end, because right when the network came around. So I started watching NXT, but then he got called up soon after. But it was just great. Honestly, just celebrating just every little thing that he did. He hits a good drop kick and he does a lap around the ring.
I liked that part.
He would come out grin.
He would do the lap around the ring, and I think it was El Torito or something. He would just bulldoze over. They should, I don't.
Or he was in an interview back in NXT, and somebody's handing him a bottle of water. It's like, oh, do you have a glass? I don't drink out of bottles. It's just little things sometimes. It's great.
Yeah, Curtis Axel's okay. I don't really like or dislike him. I know Bo Dallas can be pretty good. I just don't really get this team thing. They were the B team when they were trying, right after the Miz Taraj.
Yeah,
and then that went nowhere, and so is this.
Not true. They became champions.
I don't remember that.
You should.
I know now that you say it, but I did not remember at all that they were tag champs. Because that's how pointless the Raw tag titles are. They get flopped around to anyone.
A year ago, the Leaders of Worlds were tag team champions. And then nowadays it's Hawkins and Ryder.
The B team, the Revival, which are actually a very good tag team.
Yes.
They won't let you see it on Raw. But yeah, that's either here nor there. Speaking of tag titles, though, the Hardy Boys came out to address the status of the SmackDown tag titles. They came out. Jeff Hardy said that he was going to need surgery and was going to be out for a while. So they have to relinquish the tag team titles. Here's what I would have done with this segment. I would have then had your SmackDown tag teams come out, maybe one at a time, and start talking about how they want to start fighting for the titles now. But that's not what happened. What happened was Lars Sullivan came out yet again and attacked Matt Hardy, tried to go after Jeff, but Jeff kind of got away, and R-Truth came in.
Which, to something little I want to point out, Jeff was having such a time trying to get out of the ropes initially, but then whenever Matt comes in to try and beat up Lars again, he's like hopping around the entire other side of the ring, no problem.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in so much pain.
It's to make you think like, oh no, he's going to get Jeff now.
Oh
but
crap, he's going to get me.
R-Truth comes out, he tries to hit him with a chair, Lars Sullivan just punched the chair away.
That was great.
I was like,
I love it. He didn't even shake it off. Like, he punched it and he didn't even see him like, or anything. Just
it probably hurt.
Well, he's such a freak.
Anyway, yeah, Lars is cool as the freak athlete and everything, as being the guy that can destroy everybody, but I've seen enough of that now. I need to actually see him have a match, even if it's like an enhancement match where you just like, local talent just jobs out to him.
But just finally put him in that match with R-Truth.
He was doing that in NXT, having squash matches against nobodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
this is like the fourth week that he's come out now, like third or fourth week, and just been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's beat up a guy, give him the freak accident, running powerbomb, and Lars Sullivan is a monster.
Yep.
Still liking it though. I mean, still enjoying it, but it definitely needs to switch up soon.
It needs to change now. Yeah. But give him a match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm surprised he's not in the Money in the Bank match.
Just do the.
He was also part of that NXT ladder match with Ricochet.
Just throw him in a match against R-Truth on the pre-show. Just something.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
I mean, I don't care. It's gonna be a short match anyway.
But that's pretty much what happened on SmackDown. Nothing else really that important. What would you give this one? 1 out of 5. 1 through 5. Sorry.
Honestly, I'd probably give it a 2 again.
A 2, really?
Yeah. The entire Roman Reigns segment, or I will say the promo at the beginning of it was alright. I completely skipped the handicap match because it was pretty predictable.
It was.
Didn't really care.
It wasn't really even worth watching.
It was either Roman was going to beat them up and win, or the B team were going to be, dominant, air quotes, like rest holds, and then,
Which it was.
Yeah, and then Roman does one Superman punch and wins.
Ooh-ah, spear.
Yeah. Ooh-ah, boo. The Kofi Kingston stuff was alright. I could have done without the millionth recap of his 11-year journey.
We didn't address that. That opening segment took so long to get through.
Which is, I feel like that's a big factor.
With how many time factor?
Big factor in my rating for this week, because it was pointless.
How many times that they have told us that that Kofi has been on this 11-year journey to the title, and he's finally won it. Why? Why
We've been watching.
Why do you need to play these videos again?
Or just do one video package.
Do one.
Just do one promo.
Or just recap it, because Michael Cole's doing the stupid interview anyway.
Michael Cole's doing the interview saying, "Let's look at this. We watched this whole highlight. Watch another whole highlight.
It was 4 videos.
Come back to him. They say a few more words. Then they watch the WrestleMania result. They come back and it's just the same thing.
And then it was Kevin Owens turning on Kofi last week. We did not need all of the recap to him becoming champion. We know what happened.
Also,
just leave it at that.
Also, Kofi, Big E's out with injury. Xavier got injured last week, and then he comes out.
Kind of.
Yeah, and storyline.
That's another thing.
And then Kofi comes out this week and just smiling. Just no problem.
That's another thing.
I understand they're supposed to be, positive people, but at the same time, it's like, you can come out as champion. You don't need to do the pancake thing.
Yeah.
Smile a little bit, but, once you get into it, get a little serious.
Speaking of Xavier, that powerbomb on the apron spot that they love to make it look so devastating, why is it not doing anything the week after? Why is Xavier able to just come out and attack Kevin Owens? The whole point of the powerbomb on the apron spot was to take out Xavier.
Well,
I like Xavier, but I wish that he had not been on SmackDown this week.
Well, the closest thing they got to even really referencing that was, whenever he's holding an ice pack like on his shoulder, and Kofi's like, "You got a family to think about, with your back hurt right now." It's like, you can't be doing anything.
You got a family.
You got a family to think about, like your back's hurt. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You need to think about your family.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston, thinking about everybody else's family too.
Yeah.
If you think about Kevin Owens' family, he's got a family. He's thinking about his family.
Everyone's got families.
Exactly.
I probably would have given SmackDown this week a 3. Normally I'd give it higher, but this also did feel like a bit of a filler episode. The only significant thing was the Money in the Bank participants were announced, and they were just that. They were just announced. No really other mention from them, with the exception of Ember Moon and Carmella doing an interview backstage.
I think they had, for the Money in the Bank match, they had the graphic just up on the Titantron and slowly faded in the SmackDown competitors.
Yeah. So
it was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I gave SmackDown a 3 this week. I gave it a higher rating than Raw simply because the Becky and Bayley match was more interesting than anything they had on Raw. So
I will give it that. That was
it was a pretty good match, I thought.
Yeah.
I want to see Bayley more in the title picture. So
I want to see more development from Bayley. It's been a while.
I do too.
Like I haven't cared about her for so long because she was just thrown into that tag team for so long. So I'm really hoping that being on SmackDown now, things can change up a little bit.
Right. Moving on, we gotta hurry up a little with the points a little bit because we're coming close to an hour. Just gonna run down some of the new standings. We're 3 weeks into this, and we now have 2 wrestlers in the negative because of our new handicap rule. Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel. This is the only time they've been on TV since we started
Their first time on TV, and they have negative points.
They have negative points. Well, because their appearance didn't counteract how many points they lost from the match. So they ended up with negative. The Lucha House Party got negative this week, but they were already at 1, so now they're just at it even 0.
Even, yeah.
I don't want to go through everyone's point standings. Maybe just like the top 10 or so.
So who are...
We'll go top 15 this week.
Yeah.
Tied for 15th. Actually, it's a 4-way tie for 14th. At 16 points apiece, we have Asuka, Bayley, and the Usos. Bayley...
No hair off my back.
Bayley was at 16 last week, but her only appearance, she lost a match, so she didn't gain anything, or else she would be higher up.
She was in a tag team again this week. She wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
It's the only way she can.
Tied for 12th. Charlotte Flair and Kevin Owens. They both have 17.
Yeah.
Actually, they are tied for 11th. Sorry. I'm looking at my standings. It's in like an Excel document kind of thing, and the numbers aren't matching up with the cells, so I have to remember their positions and stuff. They're tied for 11th. 10th place, my boy Seth Rollins. 10th place is low. 10th place is low for the Universal Champion.
Yeah.
He's sitting at 20 points. He only got 3 this week because his only bit was that contract signing with AJ in the main event, and he got his butt kicked.
Slightly.
He got phenomenal forearmed through a table. That's a powerful forearm, my dude.
It's quite a phenomenal one.
Yeah.
I will say, I think the only difference between Seth and Brock being champion is that Seth's just on Raw more.
Pretty much.
So far.
I want him to be featured a bit more, win some more matches, because he's a world champion. He kind of needs to be somewhere at the top. Anyway.
I mean, a feud against AJ is a good start. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Tied for 8th, 22 points apiece, we have Kairi Sane and Naomi. Naomi's working her way up there, and so is Kairi now, because Kairi and Asuka actually had a win
Yay.
Actually, I think they already had a win, but they got another one this week.
They're Japanese and female.
Yeah.
Go.
Let's see. Tied for sixth place. Eric and Ivar of the Viking Raiders have 23 points apiece. Them and Becky Lynch were the top earners this week with 14 points because they won a handicap match. Got them a lot of points this week.
Not bad.
I kind of wish I had known. I wish they had debuted like a couple weeks sooner, and I would have picked them. Because I would have, like, if they were like on the roster, I would have picked them anyway. But now they're getting a lot of points, so
yeah, it's not bad.
Let's see, 5th place, Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. Finn Bluer now because I'm SmackDown. 27 points.
Not bad.
Consistently winning.
This was just surprising for a champion.
Yeah. 4th place, 28 points, Roman Reigns.
This is his yard. You know?
It is his yard.
He needs to take better care of it, apparently.
3rd place, with 29, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Whee!
SmackDown Live is the house that AJ Styles built. But this is Raw. He said that 2 weeks in a row.
This is Raw.
2nd place, the WWE Champion, Kofi Kingston, with 31 points. You should be happy about that.
Yay!
But
top 2 guys right there.
1st place, deservedly so, with a total of 51, Becky Lynch. I don't think she's not going anywhere until she loses one of these belts, and even then, I think she'll hold the top spot for a while.
It's appearing on both shows with those 2 shiny belts. Yeah.
I don't want to like give you any ideas, but so when we talked in our first episode, when we were talking about predictions, the reward for winning a predictions for a pay-per-view was either you add 10 points to your roster, or you can pick the a wrestler from the other person's roster and negate their points for the upcoming week. And so maybe you should want to win the Money in the Bank predictions so you can just take out Becky for a week.
I mean,
Keep in mind, it's the Raw and SmackDown after Money in the Bank. It doesn't count Money in the Bank too.
Yes. So, but it's also dependent on if she would still have both titles after that.
Right.
If she still does, obviously, you know.
So, those are the standings this week. We'll go over our total roster points. I'm still in 1st place with 287. Jay is falling behind with 235. Not bad. I kind of increased the gap a little bit, but also, like, once the Iconics are actually, like, winning stuff, I think you'll catch up.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they'll eventually get a match set up for Money in the Bank, and they can.
They need one. Like, why not have one?
It would be nice. It would be nice to just see them win.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird concept apparently for champions to win whenever the belt's not on the line.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't want momentum or anything.
Right. So those are the points this week. We had one more thing we wanted to talk about before we get out of here. A lot of you may have seen Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley as he was known in the independents.
The Mox,
put out a video on Twitter kind of teasing, I guess you could say, a return to pro wrestling, even though he hasn't left. A lot of people think he's going to AEW because a lot of subtle hints in the video and everything.
There's a lot of Easter eggs apparently. There's a tally mark suggesting that it's 25 for the date of Double or Nothing. There's dice. There's barbed wire. All of that. There's all sorts of things.
All sort of like little Easter eggs. Someone else even pointed out that when he was breaking out of the prison, he was chased by a big dog.
The big dog.
Maybe kind of hinting that what I got from it was like maybe implying that he's been just kind of under Roman Reigns' shadow the whole time he was in WWE.
I kind of thought the whole prison thing was a bit of a metaphor, but I don't know.
I think so. I mean, that was a little bit like, obvious, but...
Either prison is representing WWE or something that I heard somebody else say was that he's breaking out of the Ambrose Asylum and becoming John Moxley again.
Yeah.
Which I am super excited for. I mostly want to see his promo work, honestly.
There's just a whole lot of like little like niche things in here that just kind of like tying together, like separating himself from the hounds of justice, you know, the guards trying to catch him, the dogs and everything. Like there's just all these little like things.
His look so far doesn't seem like it's going to change much. Just between the wife beater, jeans, jacket, just straight up look. I don't know. I like it, especially if it's going to kind of continue off what he's doing here. I think it'll work well.
What do you think the purpose of this video was?
Get people talking, get people speculating.
But do you think it's actually? Do you think it's teasing an actual move to somewhere?
I would like to have the hope that it does. I'm excited for AEW, and I'm definitely a fan of Dean Ambrose. I've checked out some of his work before getting to WWE.
CZW.
More of his promo work, really, because he was kind of underutilized as a talker. But I think it's just a way of making sure people still know about him without having to keep doing things up to like every week. Like this will have people talking and waiting and speculating, and just once that show comes around, they're gonna be like, okay, where is he?
Right.
Where is he?
Honestly, I kind of feel like now that everyone's speculating that, it might be a bit of a slap in the face for him to not be on the show.
I think he's still going to be in wrestling, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
There'd be no reason for him to go back to the Jon Moxley moniker.
There would be no reason for the video if he wasn't like sticking around for wrestling in some capacity.
Definitely.
Which makes me think of maybe he had something planned out ever since the contract expiring story came to light. Maybe he was planning a move all along. Who knows?
Well, it wouldn't be surprising, He was doing the whole germaphobe gimmick.
That was garbage, by the way.
There were bits and pieces I enjoyed.
I didn't care for him getting the shot in his butt.
People talk about that so much, and whenever they recall it, it's like, yeah, it was a little ridiculous, but
I didn't hate when he came out in the gas mask and
that
was putting down the crowd for being disgusting and stuff. I didn't mind that.
I mean, it's almost what Sami Zayn's doing, just a little tweaked. It's like blaming the crowd basically.
It's metaphorically toxic, not literally toxic.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
very interesting. I don't know. Just thought it was something worth talking about, worth bringing up.
I mean, if anything, it's just gonna make me want to see Double or Nothing even more.
Which, yeah, I am excited for that. I don't keep up with a lot of indie stuff just because
there's too much almost.
I don't have the time, and also it's very hard for me to get invested in new wrestling stuff when I don't know the characters that well. You got to start somewhere.
I mean, my extent of indie stuff is whenever WWE has a new signing and you hear a lot about somebody, and so it's like if they have a bit of a name coming into NXT or whatever, I'll definitely be very open to them.
Unless you're Punishment Martinez.
I don't know about them.
What?
I don't know about Punishment Martinez. I don't watch NXT week to week, unfortunately.
Well, you at least know who he is, right?
Yeah. Are they changing his name?
They changed his name.
Okay.
He signed, and then they had him in one match the week or two after, and he hasn't been seen since, and that was months ago.
Gotcha.
And then there was a report a few weeks back that they changed his name to Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And he has not been on TV yet. So I don't know. I feel like Punishment Martinez was a known name on the indie circuit.
Yeah.
But then they went and changed his name.
Which are there's some people that can do that, but then there are others that are just no, give me a different name.
Yeah.
Some of them it works.
Yep. Okay, well, we've pretty much gone over time, so we're going to cut it off there. Thank you all very much for listening, and come back next week for more wrestling. Peace.
Peace.